mistakes, and that eventually cost you thousands and thousands of dollars, sometimes a decade's worth of pain. I far exceeded the amount of money that I could have made on the house, so my only option was to refinance the house and keep it. That brings me to stuff that I did inside the house. So if you are trying to get a financing done on a house that you want to put as a rental property, you're going to need a couple of things. Can you replace your income by adding enough income producing properties? Well, I'm going to take you behind the curtains of what I have done so far, what my journey has been, and what's have been my experience. So, back in 2015, I bought my very first rental property. At the time, I had a running business. It was netting me around $300,000, and I didn't had a mortgage. So because I had my house paid off before that, so I was left with enough cash to play around with. He was wholesaling at the time, and I bought it from him. And there were lots of mistakes that I did, and the reason I have a good portfolio of rental income today is because all the mistakes I done on that house and all the pain I have gone through on that one house alone, and that has taught me so much more that nothing can teach me. No YouTube video can teach me, no book reading can teach me all the lessons that I've learned in that house. So this is what happened. I bought the house in 2015. I had no experience of doing anything inside the house. In fact, so much so, my wife would not even let me put a nail in the wall in my house to put a picture frame. We had to hire somebody else to do that. I was clueless about how even a power tool works, or a drill works, or how to make a hole on a wall and hang a picture frame. Totally naive, no idea. I was a homeowner for several years, but she did not let me do anything because I didn't know anything. Long story short, when I bought the house, I had no experience. I wanted to just jump in. I did not do enough due diligence. And the series of mistakes that I did on that house taught me exactly why I should be looking into the deals more in details. I should have my own do's and don'ts. And after that one deal alone, that learnings from that one deal alone, which I still own by the way, I have made a list of things that I make sure now that I do, and I can bypass all of those mistakes, and that eventually cost you thousands and thousands of dollars, sometimes a decade's worth of pain. So this is what happened. Bought the house and property. The house had a pool. It was on a street, major street, so lots of traffic going in and out next to that property. The house was as is where is, so it was full of trash. I had never dealt with code enforcement, pulling permits, so all that experience was new. We live in Austin. Austin is rigid. They are not very easy to work with when it comes to pulling permit. The problem is not pulling the permit and paying them the fee, but how difficult the the code enforcement makes it for you to get the inspection done and pass them, and the time delays, and then all the other stuff that is associated with them just piles up, and it causes a ripple effect of things that just mounts up to a big, huge problem. So I bought the house. I did not do enough due diligence. The house had a pool. The house was abandoned. The pool was abandoned, so it was full of algae and trash in it, which I had to later take everything out. So we bought the house. We did the demo. All that went fine. We had a dumpster install. The dumpster come and put that in the yard, and we threw a whole bunch of demo stuff in it, and that's what caught the attention of the code enforcement. The very day I got the house, they came in and gave me a violation, not for doing the work inside the house, for because of the pool. So I was tasked. I was given a time frame to go and empty all the pool and clean everything out, which I did. I bought a sump pump, put everything into the drain, and uh, you know and threw everything out. So pro tip over here right now is, if you have a pool and that you need to drain, you don't need to worry. You don't need to drain all that water into the yard because it's full of chemical or allergies. It's going to create more problems and mosquitoes around the house. If you ever have a pool that you need to empty, all you can buy a $100 sump pump from Home Depot, put it underneath. Those sump pumps only kick in when you put them inside the pool, and once those sump pumps goes inside the pool, it kicks in and it will pump water out day and night and empty the whole pool out for you. And you can put the drain of that sump pump inside the drain of your house, not inside the house, not by the toilet or kitchen or any of those drains. Go take it straight to the drain of the house, which is outside the house. And you can just, it's just a small cap, it's got a square cap. You just untwist that with a tool and just put everything in it, so that water is not going inside through the entire plumbing system of your house and causing you some kind of cloggage, because that sump pump is going to pick up a whole bunch of big stuff that's in there, and you don't want that going through the plumbing of your house. You need that on the drain on the outside. So that was something that I figured out after feathering with it for almost weeks, and I got it cleaned out. And now I was left with a pool that was cracked everywhere. We did not knew where the leak was, but I started the process of getting it clean, and I hired a pool guy to come in and fill everything up, because I didn't knew there was a leak in it. So he filled everything up, and then we saw the water level going down day by day by day. So we knew that we had a leak problem, and so we started diagnosing it. Eventually, the leak was really everywhere on the pool, so I had to get the whole pool resurfaced. But I wasted a lot of time trying to figure out whether it is a plumbing. So you know how when you walk to the pools, there is this pavements all around the pool, and I thought the plumbing issue was underneath. So I dug all that out, and after digging all that out, found the leak, fixed the leak, and then it still didn't solve the problem. And then found another leak, then still solve the problem. Found more leaks, they still did not solve the problem. So I ended up having to replace the whole sidewalk before I found out that the crack was there. It was on the bottom of the pool. It was also on the sides where the tiles are. There were cracks everywhere. 6 months into the project, I finally figured out how to solve that. And that was to resurface the entire pool. They had to bring in a machine to sandblast everything. So all the old plaster that was on the pool, they had to sandblast everything, and they had to remove all the old stuff, scrape everything with a jackhammer, prep everything, and they put staples on all the cracks that goes all throughout the pool, because after they jackhammered everything, they found evidences of where the cracks were. They were all the way on the bottom also, and they were all on the top, they were on the plumbing, they were everywhere. So they jackhammered everything. They put stuff like staples everywhere where the cracks were, and then they plastered everything. They got everything smoothed out, and then they pour, I think, quartz material that they used, the plaster they used. So it's a very fine material. It is doing fine for us right now. It hasn't caused any problem, touch wood, but it can cause a problem whenever it wants to. But that happened on that one house. And then so finally, 6 months into the project, I was finally able to figure it out, and I was able to get plastered in, and that problem was solved for me there. The pumps on it occasionally goes down. So I see a rental property with the pool, if you are intentionally trying to buy it to make like an Airbnb or something special, you don't want a house with a pool in it. Never buy a house with a pool. Second thing was, never buy a house on a busy street. I mean, the house was supposed to be a flip. I never bought it to rent it out. I was not trying to be a landlord. I just wanted to get started with it because I had an income coming from my business, and I wanted another source of income. So I started with it. Well, the other source of income, which was the rental property, that was my backup plan if the house was not to be sold, or if I could not sell the house, I could lease it out, which I ended up leasing because I spent so much money on the house that it went over budget. And by the time we checked the ARV of the house with the pool, I far exceeded the amount of money that I could have made on the house. So my only option was to refinance the house and keep it. That brings me to stuff that I did inside the house. So if you are trying to get a financing done on a house that you want to put as a rental property, you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to either have to have a tenant living in the house already, or you need documentation from somebody who's going to lease the house out. My loan was a hard money loan. It was only a 6-month loan, so I was in real panic when my project kept delaying and delaying. It's not like I was ignoring anything. I was there every day. I was every day by myself. Most days I was there by myself, trying to figure out what to do. At the time, I had my 10-year-old daughter. She was barely 8 or 9 months old. So my wife was trying to take care of her. She was not able to help me with anything. She was very busy with the one child, and then she was pregnant with another child, my younger daughter. So we had kids back to back. That did not help the situation. So I kept, this was like a spiral effect. I kept going into it more and more, and I kept making mistakes one after the other. Another big mistake that I did was I hired somebody from Home Depot. I would go to Home Depot. I pick up workers from there. There are different people every day, and you don't know who you're getting, what kind of experience they have, how much they understand the work that you want them to do for you. And that was one of my biggest mistake. I almost got into a lawsuit and I lost everything: my house, my business, the rental property that I just bought. I would have lost everything had I not handled it correctly. You do not ever want to hire anybody that does not have a track record of the work that you want them to do for you. That was one mistake that I did. The guy came, picked up a few guys. They were just scraping popcorn from the house. And 10 minutes into the work, he fell off the ladder. Nothing hurt him, but he claimed that he got hurt. And then the whole thing was, hey, drop me off over here, and we had to drop whatever I was doing. I had to go drop him off. And next thing I know, he's texting me, hey, I'm going to involve my lawyer in it, and you better pay me this kind of money or that kind of money, otherwise I'm going to go and sue you for this. And somebody that I picked up, had not even paid him for the. I don't know nothing about the guy. I didn't have his ID. I didn't have his tax form. I did not had any of that. So that one big mistake